The Gods Are Dead, an Into the Dungeon production. You can visit us on Patreon, intothedungeon.com, or you can go to inthedungeon.net if you would like to view anything else. Definitely check it out if you enjoy our game tonight. But as usual, we're just going to jump right into it. So, who wants to recap? I can roll for it.
Yeah. Yeah, just go
Sure.
ahead and roll for it. I'm just curious.
All right. Let me get a pencil.
If you land on me, you have to start me out because I can't remember
All
where we
right.
started.
Terry's 1, Char's 2, Lord of Edge is 3. I'm going to roll a d6. So Terry is also 4, Char is also 5, Lord of Edge is also 6. Because I don't know where my d4 is.
That's fine.
Well, I lost
Uh-oh.
it, that d6.
Bye-bye.
Hold
Bye,
on.
D6.
Maybe I can find it. You know how one does. Nope. Okay. Here, I'll roll these d6.
Okay.
May the odds be ever in your favor.
Oh, God.
No, come back! Come back!
I can do it instead if you really don't want to do it.
That walk away joke's gonna go great on the audio version of this. All right. So, last time on Dungeons and Dragons, the gods were still dead, but they were trying to be less so. We consulted our the leathery black book that we procured. We stole it from a church, and
That's sinning twice.
we concerned it, talked to it about how we could maybe defeat these elder gods that were waking up, specifically Katanathoa, or whatever this thing that seems to be trying to draw the sigil of Katanathoa is, since it's a big, hungry boy, and we didn't know what else to do. Uh, and it showed us this alchemical substance known as, I'm thinking absinthe, but that's not it, but it's close enough.
Alcahest.
Alcahest. Alcahest. Or as I like to call it, Great Old One Gone, or Gugon for short.
Yes.
And we went and we did some research. We talked to Genus Clary and Tamara, and we basically found out that we could where we could find these creatures along, I believe, a coast line not too far.
Yeah, it was a common kind of hunting ground for that material. Was they like the sea caves along the coast?
Yeah, not the B caves, or the D caves.
No.
Or the A caves.
Or the A caves. Well, they can't afford the A caves, and so we, it wasn't too far. It was like roughly, 1/60th of the way to Char's homeland. So we just went ahead. We just went ahead and went, and we did indeed find one of these creatures. And to the Lord of Edge's horror, it devoured blades with whatever substance it is as it started melting through. So he chose to punch it with his actual hands instead. Terry lost a dagger. He
Yeah.
probably only has like 38 more. I think Char's armor's a little. She's seen better days. Also, her flesh, her flesh and face probably.
Yeah, and my hammer.
But
Warhammer.
or it
A
could be
new
like
type of burn.
Every type of burn.
it could be very exfoliating though under the right circumstances. And we did
There,
we
yeah, there seems to be that there's a possibility for a market in exfoliant chemicals.
Mhm. It gets rid of elder gods and blackheads.
That's true.
And so yeah,
Right.
we defeated this creature, but we chose to not kill it. We have instead put it in a glass bottle, as that's one of the few things that will not be dissolved by Gugon
Yes.
slash Alcahest.
In this game,
His
it is considered an earthly mineral.
glass
That
is dirt element.
Yeah.
God has deemed it
Gla-
so.
glass is dirt in this campaign.
There you go.
Uh, and we named him Babadook, and he is the main character now.
Yeah.
We took him back, told Genus Clary of what we found, showed him our new pet, and we also gave Tamara the black book since we figured we probably shouldn't be trusted with it anymore. And I believe the session ended with Tamara saying, "Hello, old friend."
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, it did. It did exactly like that. Terry.
Hmm.
So you are currently in a white room.
What?
You cannot see a floor. You do not see a light source. You do not see walls. You do not see a ceiling.
I've seen
But
this in a movie once.
but you can stand, and your feet are kind of blurry. They're kind of
Think,
distorted.
Terry, think.
All right. All right.
And as you look around, I
Hello.
I assume your passive perception's good enough.
Ah.
Because it's the only thing in this room besides you is a black figure who seems to be kind of relaxing on an invisible bench. Um, uh, but it's humanoid. It has like a head and arms and feet from what you can discern, but it looks more of like something you would draw than like an actual living creature. It's dark, it's kind of wispy, its form is kind of wispy, but it yet seems solid, kind of skinny. Um but actually give me a perception check.
You want me? Okay. All right. I'll roll for it. My passive
Yeah,
perception, by the way,
yeah.
is 11. But it doesn't
Yeah.
sound like it's hiding. Oh, that was much higher than my passive. 19.
Okay. So
So 20 unnatural.
you don't see eyes. You do see kind of this wide grinning mouth. You assume it is a mouth because it looks like it has
Wait. Pause.
yeah.
I was handing a book a second ago. Now I'm in a perfectly white room with no walls, and there's a grinning black facsimile of a human being with a grinning face in the room, in a quote unquote unboundless room with me.
You can make that assumption.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna run the other direction. I'm just gonna run. I go, oh shit, and then I take off the other
So
direction away from it.
Oh,
probably one of the things you also notice about it that's also a little off-putting is the fact that its head is conical a little bit in shape
Hmm.
and kind of disappears. So it's not like it has a round head. It's got kind of this almost tentacle like structure for a head, but it's kind of short. So yeah, you go running in the other direction. How long do you run for?
Until I get winded, probably.
Okay. All right. So you run, and
Yeah.
we'll say, Terry, with these adventures and stuff, you're probably pretty active. I mean, you're small, but proportionally, like you would run as much as anybody else. Are you sprinting, or is this like a jog? Like, are you in for like the long haul, or are you just busting tail?
I think mechanically, I'm using my bonus action to dash, and I'm dashing every turn.
Okay.
So I'm trying to get I'm trying to get
Okay,
out.
so you're busting tail. Okay.
Yeah.
So I would say maybe like a good 15-20 minutes you can bust tail for before you start to really have to start breathing heavy and you
Yeah.
start slowing down. And then a little bit more time pass and you actually have to like stop for a second.
Hmm.
And then when you look up, this figure is in front of you.
Oh, how close?
Ah,
How? I guess I'm like huffing, but I'm like, and how close is the figure to my face?
probably about a yard, probably 3-4 feet.
I immediately wow, that's too close for me to really feel like I can comfortably get away from quickly. You said there's nothing here, right?
No, and it's just kind of standing there, like kind of with its arms, just kind of looking at you with this like big kind of grin on its face. It goes from like ear to ear.
I cast silent image to make a small, like 5 foot like house, and then I open the imaginary door, and then I hide inside the house.
Okay, you can do that for sure, but
Okay.
the silent image.
Oh, it's 15-foot cube. Okay, yeah, bigger house, slightly
Okay,
bigger house.
the silent image looks solid, or does it look like a hologram?
Well, physical interaction reveals it to be an
Okay,
illusion,
so
and
it
I
looks
think
like
they
a.
make a successful intelligence check versus my spell save DC, and they'll know it's an illusion too.
Okay. Um, in this space, you can definitely cast the spell, but
Yeah.
it looks similar in uh like in a way that the other figure does in this space. It's kind of wispy and like smoke like.
Hmm.
It's the most Looney Tunes stress stream.
Yeah. Yeah. Um and you hear the figure say, Terry, Terry, Terry.
Oh God, I don't know your name to say it back 3 times. Is that part of the ritual? I don't know how I got here.
I I hope this isn't a bad time to have a chat.
I was conscious and in a bar a second ago, so I really don't know. Is it a? Do you know if it's a bad time? Am I asleep right now? Am I dead?
You seem conscious to me.
Am I here or is this in my mind?
It is in your mind.
So you're telling me while this is going on, I am staring dumbfounded at Tamara holding a book right now.
I could always change your expression.
You know, as funny as that would be, I maybe you haven't tried to kill me yet. I'm guessing you have something you want to say.
Why would I kill my friend? I just thought that your current actions are something worth discussing in pseudo person.
I run away from a lot of things.
Oh, well, you see, Terry, that book that you just handed off to someone is quite difficult to get your hands back onto. Say, I, unless you're going to go and look for these things, it is like a once in a lifetime opportunity you're giving up here. I just, as your friend, am concerned that you are giving up an opportunity here.
I mean, I don't really know what to do with the book. And one of my other friends said that this thing just drives you crazy. So I thought it would be better in Tamara's hands. I had a weird dream once where she was holding it. I thought they were connected somehow.
Oh, this artifact definitely has passed through many hands. It's, I guess, a way that it keeps adding to its collection, you would say. It is able to be a one book library of sorts, and perhaps to weaker minds, this is a threat. But Terry, I have gotten to know you so well. You do not seem like the sort who would fall prey to something like this.
Well, I mean, it would be.
And plus, you have me, your friend. I could help you get out of any kind of trouble.
I'm sorry. I appreciate it. When you say friend, are you the type of friend that summons things on my behalf?
Oh no,
Like
that
what?
was all you, Terry. I just gave you the access, as it were. I gave you the means to do something in which you have the potential to do. I saw this potential in you.
Hmm. You think that uh this it seems like a really roundabout way. I think you're getting at. You don't think I should hand the book over?
Now, I am just giving just a little bit of advice. It is all on you. I mean, who knows? I could also help if you would want to find an artifact like this again in the future.
Hmm.
You know, I am just speaking of in the moment. It seems like it would be perhaps difficult to get an item like this again.
Well, I'm already handing it to her now. I'm not really sure what I could do about it to take it back.
Well, your hands haven't stopped touching it.
I suppose not, but I think she's expecting me to hand it to her, and she's called it an old friend. It might be hers actually. I feel I can't steal from her.
Oh, that
I mean,
that
I can steal from the church, really, but I don't want to steal from her. She's we eat at the same diner every morning.
perhaps at one point it could have been considered her possession, but the book in itself has lived longer than many human lives. Let's put it that way. The book has been around a very long time and has passed through many hands.
Hmm, right. Well, I suppose I could keep it as long as I don't really want to start a fight with her
Don't
or
don't
Clara.
worry. Don't worry about Tamara.
Okay, I'll hold on to it. I guess I'm not really sure what harm it would do to me holding on to it instead of her for the time being. Hmm.
Well, she always had a chance to reclaim it if she wanted it.
Hmm. Right. Well, friend, it was good talking to you.
You know, I like you, Terry.
Can you see this figure's eyes?
No.
I guess like whenever I like say like it was good talking to you, I'm trying to look for like an area on the body for like visual confirmation. You know what I mean? Like I'm sort of
Well, even though I haven't been doing it, the figure hasn't stopped smiling
oh
while
oh
it's talking to you.
oh wow. Well, I'm definitely looking at its mouth then because that's gonna freak me
Yeah.
out. Yeah.
I was right about you, Terry. You definitely have what it takes.
Thank you. I guess. Is there something I should? Is there a name I should call you by?
People tend to prefer to call me friend.
No, I mean I mean I call people friends sometimes too, but like your name, like a Like the name your mother gave you?
Uh, Give me a persuasion check.
Ooh. Oh, I'm not a very charismatic person. All right, hold on. Rolling it out here. I got a 7.
Yeah. Uh, I've been called so many things. Gatekeeper, perhaps, if you prefer that one.
Gatekeeper. Mm. It sounds really formal, like more of a title. But if I suppose it's more than just friend. I thought that since we were friends, we could drop some of the formalities. But
She's been
I suppose
called.
gatekeeper will do for now.
She's been called other things, but you probably haven't heard of them.
All right.
So could you let me out of here, maybe? If I don't know how much time has passed.
Of course, friend. And so you're in that motion of handing off the book to
Hmm.
Tamara, and she's placed her hands on it, and you hear her say, um, "Why, hello, old friend."
Hmm.
And you have your hands on the book,
Yeah.
and she has her hands on the book.
Tomorrow, on second thought, I think there's something that I should look up before handing it off.
Uh, oh, sure. It is quite a good resource for an adventurer or anyone really interested in just learning more. I I used it, but uh, I just don't need it right now.
Hmm.
That's why it was in the library. It just kind of sharing the wealth, as you were.
Well, if you don't need it right now, perhaps I'll search something up for it, and maybe I've heard you get lost in this thing. So if anybody
Oh
actually
yes,
could check up on me every once in a while to make sure I'm not staring into its pages of infinite knowledge or something.
that is true. Time seems to move relatively different, but
Did I
uh,
pause for a really long time there, by the way, when I was handing you the book? I feel like I just zoned out for a second. It was really weird.
I no, I did not notice anything.
Oh, well,
Cla-
it was a long trip.
Perhaps you could look up some sort of method to cure your hoarding in this home.
That may be good, actually.
You're not hoarding books, are you?
No, I mean, other than a few of the cookbooks downstairs and an instruction manual for the Tinker's Guild, and yeah, no, just papers here and there, bound,
Okay.
bound papers.
Well, if you do find any other good books, you share those with me.
All right, sure.
Okay, deal. Um, so you're all three in the tavern, and you've had this exchange, and you're trying to explain to Clary your discoveries and your concerns about mass quantities because you've seen the size of Gatanathoa. Um, and um, I believe you had a discussion with you had a discussion with Clary about what you were going to find, and he says, well, it just so happens that I wrote to an old friend of mine, well, not friend, work associate, I guess. She's another guild head, and she says that you could drop by anytime. So she's the hunter guild. You can go meet with her. She should be. around.
Um, do you have? I suppose maybe we should take Babadook with us. Is there someone who might specialize in sla We've mostly been feeding it whatever. We're not really sure what it is supposed to eat. Um,
Yeah. Well, as the head of the Hunter Guild, I don't know how much she has on raising the things, but she can at least give you some pointers.
Do you think they're okay with it? You don't think they'll confiscate Babadook, do you?
Don't
I
see
hope
why not.
not.
It hasn't caused any problems yet. The system is more reactionary than it is proactive.
Hmm.
Good.
could
I really don't.
perhaps. Oh, I apologize, Char.
Oh no, you're fine. I just don't want to lose Babadook. But
I was saying that perhaps maybe if we could take like an hour. We just got back from a very long voyage, and if
Of
you
course.
know,
Take your
I
time.
I'd like to go trade out Vast. This one is.
I need to get some
I sweat.
repairs done.
I smell sharp.
So for sure stuff. Go sit.
Yeah, you guys can definitely take
It goes.
like a long rest, short rest, whatever you like. Just wait till the morning and go.
The Lord of Edge goes up to his bed and just like rubs his hand along it, and a single tear goes down his cheek, and then I guess we leave.
So you guys just want to take like a short rest and then head out?
That
Okay, that's fine.
seems. That seems.
Suppose.
Did we
Okay.
rest? Did we rest after we got back from capturing Babadook and?
I
No.
mean, like in your travel,
Yeah. Okay.
but like yeah, you just like walked in the door and kind of downloaded.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, you guys can definitely So
I'll take a
most of
short
the
rest. I
guilds,
think.
yeah, you definitely take a short rest, long rest, whatever you would prefer. I don't think you used much. Well, I guess you used all your key points, but I don't know if
Well,
you
he's kind
need
of
those.
back by now, surely, because we've been traveling for a couple days, right?
Oh
So,
yeah, that's right. That's right.
so just for flavor. I don't think this. And then we come back and we tell you everything. Then we leave immediately.
You guys are goal oriented here.
Hmm.
So,
Go
is there
getters.
anything you want to do in your short rest other
Uh,
than just rest, clean up?
make sure nobody's been in my room.
No.
I mean, I don't think anybody's been in Char's room. Um, I should just kind of take a moment to fix her armor a little. Get some like spare metal and melt it to try to repair any of the acid.
You would probably need to take that to somebody
Yeah, okay.
to fix, unless you know the mending spell, because I don't think your armor's magical.
It's not magical.
But like
Yeah.
the mending cantrip would fix it, and that wouldn't really cost you much at all.
Or it's gonna cause like a trend of acid washed armor. Like just oh that looks
It
dope.
could.
Look
God
how
dang
cool
it.
Char looks.
Oh, Char looks so cool.
She
She's
looks
like, I
hot.
was burned with acid. Do you think Sunny would have the mending kit?
If
Um, I don't. I don't know if Sunny has a class.
Mm.
I don't know if Sunny's that type.
he has no class.
Okay.
Like that. That's
Okay,
what like
then.
just angers like Lord of Edge is that like Sunny's like that kid that gets straight A's, but he never like specializes in anything. He just gets straight A's in everything.
Oh, okay.
He's like completely average, but he's
Except for
happy about it.
Okay. I mean, good for him.
He's just a normal boy. There's nothing special
Alright,
about him.
You
you can
hate a normal boy.
you can quit calling me out, Megan. I'm feeling attacked here. Lord of Edge, I don't think he's really gonna do is take out his longsword and kind of maybe give it a little bit of a more special treatment since he probably has access to more than just travel kit, and he'll also lift up the back of his shirt and check out his ancestral magical markings. That is in no way a tramp stamp to see if it's grown any. Like, is he gonna get like more power or something? If it's just checking it out, just to be
Yeah,
sure.
so you guys have been traveling for a while and you have give me a you have a pretty high perception?
Yeah. 15 passive.
15.
So I
Okay.
can roll for it if you.
You can roll for it, but just based on your passive, just like kind of on like every other day, maybe like checking it out. Like you weren't quite sure. It looked like it was getting added to, but and you kind of noticed this like after you started your training with Clary, like this, like it doesn't look too different, but it looks like there's something extra to it. So what'd you roll?
I rolled a 14. So
Okay.
it's like
Yeah.
it
So it's
could be,
kind of
but it also could be in my head.
right. So it's like at this point you're like debating whether or not you should have somebody look at it. Like is this gotten bigger? Has this
Yeah,
gotten
it's like,
darker?
is it bigger? Is it a rash? Did I get sunburned somehow?
Mhm.
Lord of Edge never goes out in the sun.
Because it like some parts of it
Uh,
looked faded. Now some parts of it look darker. Like it's just these very small, subtle changes that are making you questioning whether or not it's actually what's actually going on with it. Like maybe if you took a picture of it every day, you would see its like
I mean,
progression. But
Kodak
you're pretty
film
sure
has.
that spike is extra. It has at least one extra spike on
I'm growing stronger.
there.
All right.
So you guys are able to head out. Thankfully, this city doesn't have a very complicated street structure. The main roadway is kind of where a lot of the guilds are. Thanks to Terry, this nicer part of the city that gets cleaned up has been expanded with his one e- his extra help that he gives in volunteering and cleaning up trash on the street. So the nicer part of town is actually expanded a little bit. But the Hunters Guild isn't too far away from the church. It's in a nicer building, very practical building, kind of off the main road. Like you kind of like go down a little side road, and it's right there, like behind another building. It's like all the other building, kind of wood here, stone, like a stone base, and kind of they try to match it a bit, and kind of like wood and some other materials, maybe like a tin roof or whatever materials they can find. Because a lot of these houses, though, they tried to make them match. They're kind some of it's recycled materials because you guys are in the middle of a desert area. So you've kind of reused a lot of old world materials.
Well, wait. We've cleaned up this part of town, and now they have like building codes so that the front of them all matches.
Oh god.
Guys,
Some
I
of
don't think we're
them
gonna be able to afford the rent after the lease.
it's kind of like any downtown area where aesthetically they're all about the same, but structurally their character is different. Some of them might be stone, some of them might have some plaster, some of them might be like or a cob siding, something like that. So they kind of fit, but they all have their own character associated with them. So, and this one, and they all have signs. They definitely want people to know where they are, so that somebody wanted to join them, they could be found. So you definitely have this. It's kind of like two, um, like swords, um, and then like a spear in the middle. So it's like a sickle and a sword and like a spear for the hunters guild sign. So it's not difficult to find, and you guys are familiar with it. You might have applied there. Who knows? So you walk in, and it's not like a tavern like your situation is. It's a kind of like a welcoming room. There's looks like to be like a receptionist and seating, trophies on the wall, there's definitely a lot of different beasts and other once living body parts of animals here and there, kind of showing off their trophies. So you approach, and you're welcomed by this little, not little, but just an elven lady, and she says, "Why, hello. Can I help you?"
Well, um, we're looking for a friend of tomorrow's.
Could you? Is it anyone in particular? This tomorrow I have a lot of friends. I mean, I know she's the admin, but
The head of your guild.
oh, I see. Um, one moment, and
Okay.
she'll walk upstairs, and you guys sit around. They don't have elevator music or anything playing in here, but they definitely have a lot of things that you can look at. And it's not too long before they come down, and you see this tiny, tiny lady, very tiny lady, walking down the stairs. You almost miss her as she's walking behind uh, the elven lady. She's got a very colorful skin. Oh, colorful. It is not a brown or flesh type that you are more so, or fur that you're associated with. She's got kind of this grayish blue tint to her skin. She has long ears that kind of droop down a little bit, and she's kind of got like a hobble a little bit as she walks, and she's just got the kinky curly hair, the kinkiest hair you've ever seen. It's like she's tried to put it in a bun, and she's just got all the flyaways. And this once probably was pretty black hair, but now it's got all this gray, the salt and pepper. She has glasses that are very thick in front of her eyes. Just these Coke bottle glasses.
You are describing a blue grandma.
Yeah. And even her chin, as her uh, it protrudes a little forward. And she's even got like little gray whiskers coming off the moles
She
on
doesn't
her
have
chin.
she doesn't have her mouth open, does she? Because then I have to throw
No.
the alkahest into the gaping maw.
No,
Mm,
no, she does not have her
No.
mouth open.
Okay.
Um, and uh, the elven woman goes back to her post, and you're approached by this tiny little woman. Um, she goes, "What can I do? Sorry, wrong accent. Uh, so what can I do you for?"
Char, this was on you.
Me?
Mm.
Why are you putting it on me? Why am I the one that's talking? Yeah.
Claw already said that you were looking for some information on beasties.
Oh, yes. And she'll kind of like grab. I think this is the perfect time to just grab Babadook
Uh,
and just show.
okay. So you show her. So you have to bend down to like show it to her. And she goes, "Oh my 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 my," and you see her pull out a magnifying glass and like put it in front of her face, and she gets real close to it, and she's like looking at it.
The
She's
Lord
like,
of Edge will like open up his trench coat, kind of block out the sun coming through the window as she pulls out this magnifying glass.
yeah.
Takes off his hat.
She goes, "Well, well, well. I see we've caught ourselves a little treat.
Oh no, we're not going to eat him.
Sorry, it was a, a figure of expression, I guess, figure of speech. What do you have questions about this?
Um, yes. What should we be feeding it
Oh,
usually?
everything. I mean,
Oh,
the darn thing probably can't get enough. Uh,
right.
they're quite voracious when it comes to the plethora of things that they like to eat. Uh, Anything really that they can dissolve. I mean, they don't technically have a mouth per se. They kind of just
Absorb it.
engulf it with its mass.
Ah, yes, I heard they refer to it in the old world as osmosis.
Yeah, precisely. Consider it the same type of uh, system for consumption.
Uh, TM, is the fact that there's a giant eldritch worm creature eating its way through the countryside public knowledge? Is that something that?
Yes, it is public
Okay.
knowledge. I mean, like the city itself has become slowly just a little bit more somber, or the those who are for certain views have become more public in this light because they feel like perhaps they'll be taken more seriously now that there is a imminent threat to everyone's life and
Bartholomew
happiness,
Jenkins.
that perhaps they will now believe that the world is coming to an end. So they have you kind of have that stuff kind of
Okay.
going on a little bit.
Well, what did Rachel say? We're hoping its secretions might be able to assist the town with its bug problem, worm problem.
And I assume you are referring to the creature running amok in our region. Ah, I see. Interesting. That is very interesting. I myself have utilized the essence that these creatures leave behind. It sells for an okay price.
Well, we were hoping maybe we could feed this little guy here and make him much larger. How big of a container do you think we would need?
Oh,
You have so much experience, so much experience. You are the most experienced
whoa.
looking person I've ever seen. Uh,
You trying to chat
vastly,
up Grandma here?
infinitely experienced. Um,
I am quite experienced, actually. Well, you see now, this creature in particular, this black pudding you have here,
he's not for eating. I keep telling you that
it,
that's
it's a common term for the creature you have in the bottle because of its consistency. Um, these tend to be, let's say, smarter than your average ooze that you can find in various caves and the occasional old building, or not so much in forests and mountains. It's just a little too dry sometimes and a little too exposed to the elements. They like it kind of damp and cool, and they're not picky about what they eat. Some of them have a little bit more acidity to them, like your fair creature that you have here. Um, and others, I was going to try to find the book, have, sorry, I'm all over the place. I don't know where my monster manual, oh, there it is. And some of them are potent in their own way. They eat about the same things. Some of them a little less, acidic than others. They've actually been doing wonders for our sewer system in the city. Um, but like I said, these are the less intelligent ones. Um, a cube, perhaps, can um, dissolve most um, things. Let's see. Let's see.
I mean, does the cube make the acidy substance? Because I think we do want that.
Y-
This is like
yes.
this guy.
Consider it a byproduct of waste that they are no longer needing to digest. So, piss
Mm,
is very acidic,
mm.
very caustic in nature. Cubes, for example, they can eat a lot of organic matter. Just bones are a little bit too tough for them. So they just either keep it or they just kind of spit it back out. Whatever floats their boat, I guess, at that point in time. But they're dumb. Then you have the grays. Um, it's a little harder to control them. Um, they don't tend to pool up um, as much as the black pudding does, or a solid form like the cube does. I don't tend to like them as much, but they will eat through flesh and bone. Um, just a little bit harder to control. So we don't necessarily have no resources in order to produce caustic material. It's just it might take a little bit. This little guy, considering how potent his acid is, I can't see that if you just gave him a larger container, I suppose, stone pit, maybe.
I was
And I
actually
believe
just
his
going to ask, perhaps if we were to make some sort of large stone bowl, would he stay in there if he was satisfied with his daily like feeding schedule, perhaps, and maybe his excretions would leak through like a small hole at the bottom or something. Whenever we've left this one inside of a jar for too long, there's a thin film around the bottom of the
Like
glass
I
flask.
it has no limits per se to its hunger. Like ours are well satisfied with the sewage that it provides. They don't tend to move much,
perhaps
really.
we should start Babadook out in some kind of outhouse so that way he doesn't have to fight off the larger slimes.
Perhaps. I mean,
Or
um,
unless you have something, I understand you have your own resources, but perhaps
oh,
this
I
would be
mean,
more cost
perhaps
effective.
any seller might do the trick. I mean, most in this
That's
town are
that's
of stone or mixture concrete of some sort. Just perhaps just make sure nothing is in there that you don't want it to eat.
Do you know this thing can easily squeeze out of like cracks of a cellar door? That seems like it might be.
True. Um, your gray oozes tend to do something like that. Others tend to be a little bit easier to see in those cracks, but I mean, why? Like I said, most of our cubes they just stay where they are as long as they're fed.
Hmm.
well,
Why leave when everything? Well, they seem to only want to eat, and that works for us. So
it seems to be worth a shot.
I suppose. Get somewhere where Babadook can consume and get as big as we
so
need.
Would you mind explaining to me just a little bit more about what your plan is when it regards to our worm problem?
Oh, we're going to get so much acid from this thing, just so much, and then we're going to find the most recent sightings of the creature that's been plaguing us, and I guess we'll find a way to get its attention. And our intent is to just kind of get it in its mouth.
Melt it from the inside out.
Hard to burn.
Oh, how horrid.
I mean, yeah, it's not really
Yeah.
humane per se, but the thing
Should
caused a
work
lot of
Basically, it
though.
has
damage.
I mean,
exactly the stuff that this thing produces seems to go through about anything except for stone, and
Chloe said that
wheats.
this group was a bit more clever, but you know, no offense. It is just Chloe's group. Haven't quite made something of yourselves yet. So this is a good step in the right direction. So
After we
well
kill this
done.
beast, I assume you can put us in touch with the people who, so that we can mount it on Genus's wall. That seems to be the fashion, or at least
Oh,
part of it, I assume.
I mean, maybe
interesting. If we are able to, if there are any materials left, that are not consumed, perhaps yes. Interesting. I believe some of us are quite intrigued as to the um, harvesting possibilities as well. I find we've heard tales that this creature has quite a few powerful properties that could be utilized, and who knows the possibilities.
Uh, it is it's an intriguing and scary being to be near. Um,
Well, most beasties are
but
for the less experienced.
well, yes, but having seen as we've been face to face with it, kind of, we were running from it because it was chasing us. Uh, but we've had a first-hand experience with it. It's
Well,
terrifying.
all right. Well, I guess could you put us in the direction of who would be capable of building us a large stone pit on the cheap? All right, we're not really like made of gold here. Like you
I
said, we're a little bit less successful than some of the other guilds.
I was going to suggest perhaps, unless you know someone, Char's people. I know some of
Oh,
them tend to be good with earthworks. Otherwise, Genus's cellar. I mean,
yes.
Yeah, I
I am
think
not entirely sure some of the moldier substances down there have not already gained sentience. So
True. uh, I do not think that that cellar has been cleaned out.
you were supposed to do that 3 months ago,
that
Char.
was your responsibility when the giant three-headed dog attacked. That's what you were
Well,
supposed to be doing. That was your job.
yes, but it appeared, and we all got distracted and went and fought it.
Well, yeah, but
It's
that was only
fine.
like 2 hours after you were given the task. I don't know what you were doing. You're like, oh, I made a fire. I might catch the alcohol on fire, but we're not really worried about it. We know that nothing catches on fire with you until you make it. It seems like kind of a cop out. I don't.
Uh,
I mean, we meant to talk to you about this earlier,
I okay. I know I failed at cleaning.
but
I know I did, and I really don't want to be called out in another guild's main hall.
uh,
well, quite.
Bet their cellar is extremely well kept.
Oh
Can we
yes.
see?
I do not think that either of those options are bad. Um, Possibly both are quite good, but you do understand that there's only a matter of days before we are expected to march. Well, voluntarily. Those who are unable to are expected to stay and keep things running while the rest
Okay. So,
proceed.
what do you think the quickest way to make this thing grow is?
Perhaps the more you give it.
So just
Hmm.
bombard it with things.
Sewer, perhaps, might be. Just this.
Perhaps.
That's a lot more food for.
Well,
Oh,
everybody, it looks like we're all gonna go
I
dumpster diving.
You can't keep any of it though, Terry. That's the issue.
I never
now
kept the biodegradable. What I don't know what that word is. Do I? I never kept the things that spoiled. Anyways, that's what we'd be giving to the.
I suppose, and we could temporarily make a portion of the sewer just for Babadook
Well,
if
and
I
it.
get Ratchet's help.
Well, we could
Um,
probably go down there with Babadook and maybe kill anything that's larger that might threaten Babadook before he gets a chance to eat, and it already comes with some kind of drainage, I assume, as the city is not overrun with filth. So,
True.
well, I mean there is waste other than sewage. I just can't let a cube per se just kind of run around town. Who, if it
it
got it could find something else more satisfying than the waste. So you could always try there. You could try the waste area.
well, we wouldn't want to put the town in danger.
I,
Well, I guess that is also true. Or perhaps build your hole close to the waste. So you
yeah,
just
and we just throw it in.
well,
I'm gonna vote sewer. I
oh,
think that one makes the most sense to me. Just if we're in a time rush, it's got food,
Yeah.
it's got drainage.
So my concern with this is we're taking a creature more aggressive than the slimes that are already down there, or the cubes that are down there, that can grow rapidly, that has a strong acid, and we're gonna release it into our own town sewage system.
That's what I'm
Listen,
saying. Let's take some Earth Genasi with us just in case.
I just feel
that,
like
that's
maybe
fair. Like maybe
maybe a hole next to the maybe we can like reroute some of the sewage to it, but like not quite in the sewage, you know what I mean? Like
that's fair. Like
Yeah.
yeah, maybe
Not
like
have it consume a couple of gelatinous cubes, you
I
know?
feel
do,
like I feel like this is like whenever people in Florida release like really big snakes out into the wild. You know what I mean? You're like, okay, this thing has no natural predators. It is going to take over. This is going to be an
I,
actual disaster to our ecosystem.
I just feel like anything we do is gonna be better off than giant eldritch worm, though. I mean, yes, we might melt the town's foundation out from under it. This is
Yeah,
true,
yeah. Genus is going to
but
have a hard time explaining this to the other guilds.
Yeah, that would be very difficult. So my group let out a black pudding to make it rapidly expand under
I
the
almost
city.
I almost wonder if there's like some sort of like water tower-ish sort of feature that we can like line with cement and let the droppings drip down, or you know what I mean,
I
like
don't
some
think we
sort of.
can do that in a few days,
No,
though.
I don't think we can either. All right, I'm trying to think of the ideal scenario here. Um,
Yeah. No, I'm sure. Let's just get an Earth Genasi with us just in
Uh,
case something bad happens, and they can just roll it.
Alternatively, we feed Babadook. Babadook loves us and becomes the town's guardian.
mm,
This giant,
your mascot.
our giant eldritch black slime, and then it can just go around the town and protect. We'll see.
And everybody will just give it its their trash.
Yeah, actually, maybe this is how Katanathoa happened. Actually, we're kind of. This
Creating
is,
another katana.
we're creating a monster to fight this monster.
you know what? This has never gone wrong. I'm here for it. Let's go get.
Make a
Let's go.
kaiju to fight a kaiju. Oh no.
So I guess let's go get some Earth Genasi and head down to the sewer and see how this goes.
Yeah.
All right. Interesting.
This is.
I
Listen,
do not think
this
this
is
black
weird.
pudding belongs near the sewer system.
Okay, do you want to put it in? I mean, what else you got? Us like we can seal part of the sewer off. I like that. That's fine.
Just in case something goes wrong,
Can
when we
we?
need to like.
Can we?
We beat it one time. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's gonna be so
Yeah.
much bigger.
Yeah.
True.
And then how do we even collect the waste? It's gonna be like running water, isn't it? It's gonna like.
Listen, this is gonna be a crapshoot either way.
Oh no! This is important. All right, how do we collect the waste? It's gonna be in a sealed room off in the sewer. I don't know how we're gonna be able to. I don't know how we're gonna collect all this acid. Like we
Well,
might as
if-
well have it in a pit and then feed it things, right? Because we can't leave running material under it because we'll lose the thing we're trying to harvest.
Yeah, and then we could actually have it move, like lure it out with other food, make a tunnel to another pit, lure it out, collect what's in that pit, close it
no,
off, and just
we-
kind of
we
keep
let
going
it go
back and
free,
forth.
and then we have it like a bed type of thing that has the funnel in it.
Where it just
Mm.
goes and just uses the rest. Give it a litter box.
Yeah.
Give it a litter box. I don't know if we can train a black pudding to use a litter box in a
This is
few
the-
days.
This is the most D&D session we've had so.
Man,
How?
how do
Okay.
we safely feed this volatile creature?
You let your group have a pet. And it's just-
How
And
to
they
train
nearly
your
destroy a
black-
city.
How to
Yeah.
How
train
to train
your
your
black
black
slime.
pudding. How to train your black pudding. Here we go.
Alright, title of the show. Train your black pudding.
So we need a. What do you suggest, Greg? What's your plan here?
So what I'm suggesting is if we are supposed to IV drip this black pudding with sewage, right? I feel like there's still like we could put a hole next to the sewage area, and then I don't know how we can. I can't make gravity work in reverse. I can't bring the sewage like back up into the thing, but if we can just find a way to get the sewage in there, right? Like if we only have 3 days anyways, like do we just like maybe we take some buckets down there and just start shoveling it in? I don't know.
Yeah,
Milk it.
just keep throwing poop at it. Yeah.
I that sounds terrible, but I'm thinking about it. There's possibly a way to do with pressures. It's weird. It's weird sciencey
We
stuff.
got,
I don't
like,
know why I'm
We got
mentioning this.
2 days, and we still got to get.
And I'm just like, we could do a pressure.
I think we should go
system.
go to the sewer. Maybe seal part of it off. Hurt it as much as we can with maybe light, since it hates light.
Probably.
And just do our best. It might cause a problem, but you know what? We'll live to see it.
Yeah. And we'll be able to maybe stop it from doing too much damage.
My thought is, it should be the Veg thought, since he is wise, believe it or not. I don't want to be like, man, I wish we had only gotten a little bit more acid to fight the worm god.
True.
But at least our sewer is safe. We can shit in peace. 300 years from now, when there's some more adventurers exploring the ruins that used to be our town, they're like, man, this is a weird, enormous trench, but this sewer is pristine.
And Babadook is still there.
It's still
Man.
there, just like consuming stuff, and he's just like.
He's gained so much intelligence in 300 years that he tells this story.
Let me tell you about my parents.
Let me tell you
Mhm.
about those who raised me.
Oh my god.
Now I only feel empty. No amount of food can heal the hole in my heart.
You know what? I want this eventuality now, so I guess we should go
We
to
can't
this.
lose.
We can't lose. That's right. No, there's no way.
You're either win now or 300 years from now.
Yes.
All right. So you guys, you can get into the sewer system. There's like
Wait, we need Earth Genasi. We need Earth
Yeah, we
Genasi
need.
to help excavate
gotcha.
Listen,
and
I know this
collapse.
sounds strange, but we need you to come to the sewer.
I need your help.
So Rivet,
Rivet.
um,
Why did I say
you see him around. There seems to be those who have volunteered to assist. Definitely some lizard ish folk as well. They seem to be gathering supplies. Um, they also seem to be trying to do a group meals that seems to be have become kind of common for them. They don't since they have experienced a lot together. They seem to find more comfort in having a large gathering for meals where everybody kind of pitches in. It's become very communal in their healing from the trauma that they have experienced. Uh, they seem to have embraced each other fairly well. Most of them have. Not everybody seems to be so open socially, but most of them have. So it's kind of busy. It's kind of busy here. Um, Lots going on. A lot of people moving, talking, that kind of stuff. A little bit more lively than you've seen in the rest of the town. So yeah, Rivet is there. There's definitely a couple other Earth Ganassi's. Char's parents are there.
Hi, mom. Hi, dad.
um, they tell you that they are not going to be leaving the town. With your mother's condition improving, but still needing assistance. That it is best that they just leave it to the more energized, uh,
Able-bodied.
able-bodied. Yes, Ganassi and lizard folk. They believe in their ability to do their best. So you uh, can definitely ask around. Rivet does seem kind of busy, so he might need some persuasion to go with you. Um, but there are definitely Earth Ganassis abroad. Uh, so you might have some that you're familiar with that you've traveled with Char.
Mhm.
Um, that you maybe took homeschool classes with in your youth when you were focusing on your education. So that is up to you what you would like to do. If you'd like to try and persuade Rivet or try to get somebody else to join your crew.
I want him to be able to work on what he needs to work on. I want to try to find people that I know do really well with manipulating Earth. I know all of them can, but I want to know who's more proficient at it.
Okay, so you definitely know of a few that at least have some skill in this. It seems to be something that Earth Ganassis are proud of in their own way of being just like Earth Ganassis or Fire Ganassis are proud of um, the way that they can manipulate fire. Um, Earth Ganassis are the same with the way that they can manipulate Earth. They tend to be very not hippie, but they tend to be more one with dirt.
You're telling me all three of these
Mhm.
guys' name is Flint. He's one of the girls.
Right.
And Jim.
Yeah.
Gem,
Hmm.
flint, maybe a steel in there.
Yeah. Steel.
Sapphire.
A
Yeah.
sapphire,
It's
yeah.
maybe an obi for obsidian.
Oh, yeah, obsidian. Maybe there's a
Uh,
ruby in there. You never know. A garnet.
yeah.
Maybe it's just the crystal gems. You never know.
Let's see. Let's see.
Don't know if
What
anybody got
do
that.
Ganassis?
There's one who's really fat because he lives a sedimentary lifestyle.
Oh God.
god.
Ooh.
Uh, we really take these puns for granted.
Oh, hey, no, that was worse.
Oh,
Maybe we could
everything.
convince them and
See.
tell them this is really important and about the sites he will see.
No.
So there are a few. We'll say, um, there's a Micah and a and let's see, what's a more a quartz, um, Micah male, quartz female.
Okay.
Um, you've seen them before use abilities of some sort in order to move Earth.
All right. Time to convince them.
Hmm. Yeah, it's gonna be just as simple as a persuasion.
Okay. Well, Micah Quartz, it's been a while. Um, would you possibly be willing to help us on a little endeavor? Yeah.
Okay, just give me two separate persuasion checks, and if anybody wants to assist in persuading, they can give you an advantage.
Nah.
Okay.
I don't know these people.
Fine. I'll
Just-
just deal with.
Actually, yeah, in character, I got a -2. Nah, you're on your own.
I have a +1, so let's see how this goes.
Yeah.
I actually have a +0, so yeah, I think.
Wow, am I the most persuasive out of the group? What is this?
I don't know what's.
giving her advantage.
I guess
Nah,
to help, yeah, I run up to her side. I'm like, yeah, this is very important stuff. Concerns the safety of the town, and your help is essential to our cause. And just sort of milk that it's a big deal.
So the first one's a 10 with advantage.
Okay.
Nice.
And then is the second one also with advantage?
Yes.
Okay. Nat 20.
Hey!
Okay. So, Micah doesn't seem as convinced. But Quartz, you guys got along just fine, and she doesn't. They aren't really building anything right now. Sound the camp is kind of set up, so she seems eager to help. She doesn't like
Okay.
all the work that everybody's doing, so if she gets to use her abilities to dig some holes, why not?
Of course, it's always been good about keeping
course.
time.
Oh my god.
I hope the instructions are crystal clear.
Jeez.
Thank you, Quartz. I appreciate that. Now.
God damn. How do you do it? It was so quick.
That was. Well.
So you guys you're heading to the sewers. You're
See-
going
Yeah.
to enclose the Babadook into a dark hole and feed it waste. Okay.
Yes.
So not that far out of the city, you have kind of like where the access is to things like this. Not it's not really gated or anything, and you probably know why. um they don't seem too concerned with anything getting out or anything getting in.
Oh, they
Um,
will. Yeah.
So, you're able to you get in just fine. Um, it the water that's coming out does seem pretty clear. There's not like a ton of it. Your city does pretty well in its water conservation efforts. So there's really not a lot coming out, and they seem to have something that it flows down, maybe like another system it'll flow into. So it's not just getting just wasted out into the sand. Um, so you're able to walk in, and it's relatively dark. I mean, it almost like a cave. You're walking in. It's damp. It's wet. It's got a smell to it. There's not. There seems to be places for torches, lights, and stuff like that, but nothing's lit in here. There's not a sisty city electrical lighting down
I
here.
guess Lord of Edge will go first since he probably has the best dark vision. I would
Yeah.
think, or I don't think
I
he does have special dark vision, but he'll
Yeah, I
go and
don't
he'll light
think.
like too far away and then too closer to kind of hopefully box Babadook in a little bit.
Yeah,
And he'll,
so there are definitely um corridors where you can see that I mean they don't all go on forever. They will eventually stop, where and you'll perhaps notice where it's almost a direct system. These pipes come down and stuff, so it's not like it, because the city's kind of on a grid. The pipes kind of go in the same way a little bit, as smaller pipes connect to them. Um,
I suppose we should still ourselves. There will probably be some issues to
uh,
iron out.
Lord of Edge, you have a passive of 15. Are you guys using any sort of light source while you're walking around?
I can be the light source.
That's
Yeah,
Produce
fine.
flame.
Yeah,
Uh,
I actually don't have dark vision,
yeah.
so I do have the light cantrip though. So I probably just picked an object like says no larger than 10 feet in dimension. So uh
yourself.
you know what,
I mean,
we're gonna go with Lord of Edge's sword. You know what?
So you have a light source. Everybody can make the perception check.
No, okay.
Hey.
okay.
That's a 5.
Mine is a
Lower than my passive.
dirty 20. I got a 16 on the die and then plus 4. Yeah, dirty 20. I couldn't math for a second.
Nice.
That's fine.
That is a natural 20 for a 26.
Nice. Okay.
Okay.
So
I am one
Char,
with the
but
darkness.
definitely Lord of Edge. Char, you think you kind of see something, but you're not quite sure. Lord of Edge, you definitely see it. It is blindingly obvious to you in the darkness, as your companions have chosen to use a light source. Um, you see this, and you'll see it as you're walking. So you know, like these corridors, you're kind of um, going around because you don't want Babadook around these creatures. Are the gelatinous cubes, um, and you um, notice that they will have various things inside them that they have not been able to digest um, fully. So you know, not those paths are kind of blocked. You're not going that way. You, but what you do notice, um, and you remember the lady telling you this, is that there are certain materials that they cannot digest, and surprisingly, they've decided not to just hold on to all those materials. So perhaps somebody comes through and has collected materials that they do not digest. So as you're walking, you notice this dry corridor of like bones and other junk and metal and stuff that seems to either have wandered of creatures wandering in here
Uh, Lord of
or
Edge stops and looks at Terry suspiciously.
Oh, goody!
Terry, have you been here before? It looks like someone has collected some of the gelatinous cube droppings. Was
Have I?
this you? Do you
I
have any
don't know.
family?
You give me. You tell me.
The
This
impression what I have what I've done this. I don't feel like it's beyond me.
maybe this was like you you buried the bone, but you couldn't remember where you buried it, and you're like, oh yeah, before I met you guys,
Oh, I see. Yeah, yeah. All right. Yeah, this is
I
looking
totally forgot.
vaguely familiar. It's probably, I think I didn't remember this place well. I was really dehydrated when I came down here and drank a lot of gross water, and it's,
Federal sewage.
I
This
could just imagine
explains
why all this water
so
is here.
much.
I was wondering at the time. Yeah, I think I've been here before, actually.
Maybe
Yeah.
this is where you met Scabbers or not, whatever his name is. I can't remember.
Maybe
Your
you
uncle.
saved him.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I saved him and permanently bound him by my magic. Um, okay,
Gonna be your companion.
yeah, I just think it's fun to have to have tried to scavenge for stuff. For I think it would be a shame not to go look through the piles of not junk, definitely not junk. Very useful metals and undissolvable pieces here, right? We should take a look at. I want to take a look at it.
Of course.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. You can see that this area is definitely like meant for something kind like this or similar to this. It's off out of the water, out of the waterway. It's not on a path where you'll interfere with a gelatinous cube. It's just kind of like an extra little area that this has all been piled up into.
Terry, is
Cool.
this some kind of joke? I don't find this humorous.
uh, yeah, so there's uh, not a myriad of materials. There are definitely a lot of bones. You can probably discern like a skull of rats and other types of stray animals that might have wandered into here. Some of them are relatively old in age. Some of them look a little fresher. But there's not like a scrap of hair or flesh on these
Okay.
bones. And then there's just like scrap metal. Um, no like armor or anything like that. Like maybe somebody was using this to like dump stuff at one point and it's just like collected, or somebody was collecting things here at some point. So it's just kind of like this area is being managed. It's not bad for a sewer system, but they just haven't like they've piled things. They haven't like cleaned it out.
Gotcha.
How big is this? These piles of stuff? Like how big is it?
As you take time to like explore, you'll find a couple different places of things. I wouldn't say they're humongous, but there's some of them are bigger than others. So maybe some of them are only like a foot tall, or some of them are like 3 foot, like stacked up, broken bones and other pieces, like a bike maybe. I don't know.
You want to let him out in the bone room? I was thinking, I don't even know if he has to worry about the gelatinous cubes, because what is it going to do? Melt him? I mean,
I mean, I think it's more likely that he will
eat it.
he could
He's going to eat it.
consume the gelatinous cubes
Yeah.
more than anything. So I think letting him
Gelatinous cube is
go
part
through
of the square meal, so.
a fully cubed diet,
Hmm.
not as good. No,
Hmm.
not as good.
um yeah, you have your quartz Ganassi with you. She seems a little. She doesn't seem. She doesn't really like this place. It's not really her scene.
Hmm.
She's kind of like, "Are we gonna be
Alright.
done soon?"
Well,
Ooh, yes, we just need to let our friend do its thing,
Oh,
and
Is the sewage like good enough quality? Is this nasty enough sewage near this
you.
area?
This is considered gray water,
Okay, so maybe not. I
so
feel like we need.
it hasn't. Right. So in public water system, there's something called gray water where it hasn't gone through a chemical cleaning process yet.
Mm.
So like all of the big stuff, all the trash has been taken care of, but in order to get introduced back into a stream or public water system, it has to be clean and sanitized.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna. I imagine Alkahest has very good antibacterial properties. Not that we know what that is. Also, anti everything else. But
True.
Yeah.
let him out the bone room. Terry, do you want any of these bones before?
No, no, no. Let Babadook have them. He might be hungry. I don't know.
Maybe
Just
get
kind of pulls it up. He's like, "Are
Torrance.
you hungry?"
Uh, are we going to seal this off or something? Or
Oh yes.
Well, I don't think he'll eat everything immediately, but yeah.
Yes, just to keep him in this area so that he eats it all, and then we go from there.
right? Okay, right.
So, Quartz, this is why we have you here.
So you just want me to make a wall or something?
Kind of seal him in and kind of like shows.
I didn't imagine she talked that way, but I
Okay.
got it. Yes.
Do you mind if I'm on the other side?
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Okay, just holler if you need me, I guess.
Well, she went from being force fed to Katanathoa to like Valley Girl really quick. Her-
Yes, Valley Girl is perfect for her.
Yes.
So she'll like kind of stand a little bit, not far from you guys, but kind of if the tunnel splits, as if it's on like a grid, in kind of like the bigger tunnel that leads out to the exit, and she'll um like do some magic, and she'll be able to build you kind of like a stone structure um that encloses the area, but like leaves like a opening at the top. So if you need to communicate uh,
Breathe.
or breathe, you can do so. Or if you had to escape for some reason, there's enough room that maybe you could like heave each other up and climb over the wall.
Of course. I
So
guess this is the moment that we release.
okay, so explain to me, how are you just popping the cork and dumping them out, or are you doing like a velociraptor trainer, like trust exercise first, or you just going for it?
Like, oh god, how are we gonna do this,
You
guy?
know, talk to him first. Like, listen,
like-
we need.
Listen, Babadook.
We need you
I
to
think
eat all.
we should get them started when we want them to eat, right? Maybe take some like small like little rat skulls or something,
We
put
should,
them in.
we should definitely
Put 'em in
hand
there,
feed him a little bit if we can do it
Yeah.
without burning our hands. You know,
Yeah.
like get one of the longer things and kind of hold it out and let him take a little bit of it, and then.
Feel like, is that good? Or is that
Well, if we
okay?
hand feed him though, then he's gonna associate people with food, and that could.
Oh yeah. Oh god.
Yeah.
We are about to associate bones with food, and
Yeah,
Mm.
That's fine. We're also gonna feed him metal. That's
it's true. We could maybe teach him a trick though. I don't know how you get a slime to roll over.
you can get him to hop.
So you guys are hand feeding him like little rat bones and stuff like that, and he will, does his it's a familiar process for you guys because you haven't starved him this whole time, where he'll kind of like use his mask to go up and like grab it and then pull it back down, but as it's coming back down it's just melting into him. And you guys do that a few times and he seems docile. Even with the cork open, he doesn't seem to be trying to like break for it.
Mm.
Kind
Okay.
of just like almost like waiting.
Okay. Do we trust him to just go on the pile?
Yes, I don't know if we should dump him out. He seems to like his glass jar, so perhaps
But
we
he'll
should.
grow out of it.
We'll get him a
He's a
bigger
boy.
one, I suppose.
I
We
do
we
think the intention is that we make him larger than this jar.
Yes. Uh,
just set it down.
Set it down like on its side. You just
Have a bone just outside, kind of.
yeah. So you can
Yeah.
just.
Yeah, so you see him like undulating a little bit. I'm trying to think of the word where he's not like quite sure what's going on here, and then he like gets more brave and tries to go. And as soon as he realizes like he can get out of the lip of the bottle, he like makes a break for it, towards the bones,
Okay.
um,
Okay.
and starts
Consuming.
consuming. Yeah,
Okay. Okay. He doesn't seem violent towards us. So that's okay, right?
no, but
Okay.
are you guys just gonna watch him?
Yeah.
Probably, yeah. I think
Yeah.
we're probably a little horrified.
Like,
Imagine
huh.
it's a very Tasmanian devil type of thing.
Right. It is. And like he's very it is very possessive of its food. So if you like get a step closer, you'll kind of see it like stop and kind of like try to be more threatening by like making itself look bigger than it actually is. And then like when you don't seem like a threat, it goes back to eating.
Hmm.
How much bigger is it getting? Is it pretty
Um
much just
it's
assuming
not
all this?
taking I mean it it's not taking a very long time for it to consume. I'll say that you guys started with maybe a smaller pile just to test how this is going. He he does seem to be getting larger, and as he's consuming, you can kind of because this is a dry area, you can kind of see it's like wet up under him. Um,
We'll have to get cords to help us maybe get.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we're gonna need the container we brought him in for the to
Yeah.
collect the some of the alcos.
Well,
Uh,
I figure we brought him in on the wagon, so we might have. I don't know if we
if
have
you
enough.
guys want to say that you brought your materials with you in preparation for the plan that you had made, that is fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
You guys
Cool.
have your wagon. The only thing
Cool.
outside this wall is Court. She didn't want to. She's not into the feeding weird creatures fetish.
Okay.
that's fair.
Fair.
um,
Fair.
so
We
yeah,
just
you.
we just want to collect its pee. It's not that weird.
Yeah.
We just want it to be. Come on.
So yeah, you guys have your jugs and
This is
stuff
a
that you
piss
had
poor plan.
prepared. You had prepared beforehand. Or you can say that you guys were able to get more too. It wasn't very expensive. It's just clay was a little bit more accessible than glass in larger quantities if glass had to be pre-made to the size requirements that you guys were wanting. But glass is available to you guys. A lot of yours was filled already,
Mhm.
but clay is a little bit cheaper and a little bit more accessible in the size that you want. So we'll say you have um,
Clay
probably a dozen
jugs.
or more. You kind of had to stack them on top of each other a little bit in order to get them all in the wagon. Um, but yeah, so he seems to be chowing down. Um, say you guys were there for maybe 30, 45 minutes in this smaller pile he's able to get through. And he seems to slowly but looking to wander and keep moving through the
Uh.
space
Okay.
with
And it.
his little wiggly eyes,
Little
kind of
googly eyes.
like looking at you every once in a
Uh,
while.
but does it respond to us in any way? Feel like
It's not attacking you, but does seem leery of you. Like, are
uh,
you gonna come at me? Are you just gonna let me wander? Like, what's going on here? Like, it's not. It's been in a bottle for like a week and a half
Yeah.
after it was almost killed.
That,
So we
yeah,
got a
no,
little
Yeah.
Stockholm syndrome here.
yeah. I was kind of hoping, like it kind of likes us now. Stockholm syndrome.
uh, is there? Do we know of another pile that's close?
Yeah, so
Okay.
this was just one of the smaller ones. So probably like
Okay.
another little alcove area. There's another pile of stuff.
I wonder how
Alright.
much it used to get fed back in that cave.
Probably not nearly this much, I wouldn't think, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
I don't know if it got fed this much.
Well, you definitely knew that like when the tide came in, it it would the tide would come in. Probably not as much all at once, but it at least had enough to
Satisfy it for a
satisfy
bit.
it. Yeah,
Uh,
because all kinds of shells and other creatures will get washed up when tide comes in. So
okay.
maybe the occasional
Well.
bird that goes to nest there.
Oh
Just
God.
it did keep that cave pretty tidy.
Yeah,
mm,
that's true.
it was squeaky clean.
Yeah. I guess kind of look to Babadook and be like, "Well, buddy, I guess we're going to the next pile."
Give
And
me an
like,
animal handling check.
okay.
Yes.
Does anybody have a better animal handling? I have a plus
Yeah.
one.
Could I actually say this as we're all trying
Yeah.
to corral it? Like,
Yeah.
listen, Babadook, we must. We need you to consume, but please stay within the lit area.
Please stay near us, please. We do not want you to.
Or should I roll my own? My animal handling's probably better than.
Yeah, if yours is better, either she can give you advantage or
I
no.
got a
Well,
plus.
she's the one doing the talking. Well,
That's true.
Oh,
That's true. So
yeah. We got
one
a
of you
plus
can give
two
the other
advantage.
advantage.
What is your what's your
plus
modifier to? Two
3.
plus
three.
three?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I'll give you advantage.
Okay. I will. That's another natural 20.
Oh my gosh, get out of
Oh
here.
wow.
Yeah, you better be. I'm using the dice pot I was going to use forever on
Uh,
tomorrow, so.
Oh god.
Gotta get these out!
Yeah. So, it definitely seems focused on you for a second, and it does something that you haven't experienced before, and it goes, "Boop, boop," and then it walks off. Or not walk. It kind of like does its
If it walks,
moving.
Jiggle.
it's
the, like-
identical.
Yeah.
It like flips up.
Yeah. It lifts its skirt and just walks.
It's
No.
just
And so it kind of walks off to the next area that you're uh kind of carousing it to, and it kind of like looks at you like "Ooh."
Yes.
Go ahead.
And then it starts eating some more.
I
Uh,
like our new pet monstrosity.
This pile's a bit bigger, so you definitely notice he gets some gains from this pile, but he's definitely not the size he was when you guys first fought him. But this continues on. You could clear out all these piles. There's not like dozens, but probably like a good 8 piles of just discarded materials that couldn't be dissolved by the other cubes, and you definitely have a bit more trouble trying to persuade him. So persuade, please, to not go after the other cubes
Oh, am I rolling
as
another?
you as you're walk past
I mean, he's
them.
big enough at this point. Do I still have advantage, I assume, because we're all trying to do this.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
It's like
You're
don't
giving each other
consume the
advantage.
gelatinous cubes.
Okay, like he pauses too long, but obeys you not telling him he can't eat the other cubes.
Don't eat the other children, please.
But yeah, but it's like every time he walks past one, he just
He
stares
just
at
eyes
it.
just
Yeah.
googly eyes, like
Yeah, he like
shifting,
googly
and then
eyes it.
just
Yeah.
It's like when you
Well,
stares.
walk
on
a
the
dog.
inside, he's thinking, I can take it.
I can eat that.
It,
um
it is literally 4 times the size you are. Not
it
today.
is. Like
Not
these
today.
gelatinous cubes are huge, but he is pretty sure he can take it.
He's like, I'm pretty sure I can consume
It's
this.
like when your little like schnauzer's
It's
like,
like
no,
yeah,
that
yeah,
Great
it's like
Dane, I can take him.
it's little dog syndrome, yeah.
Yeah,
It's
like, I can take
Napoleon
it.
syndrome.
I mean, I don't know when your schnauzer's made out of magma or something of equally volatile.
I assume he will no longer fit in his flask at this point.
Right. You definitely have like a Saint Bernard on your hands.
Okay.
Oh, we're gonna need someone. I
It definitely could eat Terry.
no.
We're gonna need a bigger
God.
flask.
Does
We're
it
gonna
ever
need a
stare at
bigger
me for too
bottle.
long?
You like when you're like walking and you're like trying to get closer to it because it's getting bigger and you're kind of like, huh, it's getting bigger. It like looks at you. It goes, ooh.
Don't eat Terry. No, no, no.
No, no, no,
Terry,
no, no, no.
Terry is friend.
Give
not
me a
food.
persuasion.
I'm not for eating.
He may
Ah,
have a lot of stuff, but don't eat him.
Oh no.
woo.
I rolled an 8 total.
Oh. You haven't even made it to
No, it's fine. That wasn't really that serious.
that.
So yeah, so you basically you have a Saint Bernard sized
That's a big.
and
That's a big.
just as drooly as a Saint Bernard.
So we'd be able to like collect some
Yeah,
alcohol
so
from
if
it.
you want to,
Okay.
you would be able to collect. You'd be able to milk your pudding.
Mm, mm. I feel like
Okay.
how much could we have collected by now? Like
I said you had about a dozen jars, so
yeah.
yeah.
Let's see.
I'm gonna say you did more than one.
Okay. Nice. Nice.
7.
Doritos.
7. Ooh, okay. So we
Seven.
get-
That's
Guys, I don't know what to do. I don't think we're gonna be able to remove him from this afterwards.
And this is pretty. You some of it might have gotten in the water, but it's pretty pure stuff because you're getting it directly from the source instead of collecting it out of a puddle.
Okay.
we got the pure.
I mean, is he really hurting? I mean, there's already slimes down here. I don't think he's hurting anything.
No, but he will try to consume them. That's
I
the
will
issue.
need like dex saves from everybody though as they're trying to collect this
Oh.
caustic material.
Yeah.
I'm good at that.
Let's see
Dex
how I do.
saves?
Dex
Mhm.
save. Oh,
Oh my
that's
god.
an 18
Oh
in
god.
total.
Oh god. A 10. I got a 10.
Oh.
I rolled a 6, but I have a +8, so
Okay.
Jesus Christ. Yeah.
So everybody does pretty well. Terry's gets a couple close calls where it like singes the hair on his knuckles, and then he like puts his hand in the water and like swishes it around before it really does too much damage to him. But everybody's no burns or anything like that.
Cool.
No flesh melted off your hands
Nice.
or any other appendage. You guys are able to uh, walk around its trail of caustic material that it's leaving behind.
if
Uh,
uh if we don't need it to collect Alcahest, I kind of want to give him the flask that he used to be in, just so he can carry it around. So he's got his eyeballs, so we still know it's him. But
yeah,
Yeah.
you hand
it's
it
like a comfort
to
thing.
it. Yeah, and it's like when a full-grown dog tries to get back into its puppy cage. Like he like can fit his like eyeballs and like part of him in it, and then he can't fit any more of it in him, like any more of him in it. So like you just kind of see this uh futile attempt, several attempts to try and fit back in it.
Buddy, I
Um,
don't think you can fit, and that's okay. You don't need to be in it anymore. Really? Not really.
But you can see like there's some of that material that's collected in the glass as he's been like putting his parts of his body in and out of it because it's just kind of secreting like sweat.
Mm.
So
It's got the food sweats. Huh?
yeah, yeah, he does. He's got the food sweats. But yeah, I mean, there's no real piles of junk in your sewers anymore. And even like if he walks through the water, I don't know if you guys are trying to get him to avoid walking through the water. Um, you notice that the water has more of a bluish tint to it, but it's not like cloudy water anymore as
Yeah,
it
It's like
I can
he's
comes.
imagine he would.
absorbing the things in
Yeah,
it.
Like
I think he
the
would kind of clean
minerals,
it.
like the small pieces of metal or trash or whatever that just kind of makes it through the cube, but it's not really something that you can pile up like the smaller
So,
pieces
so
of
he's got little snacks.
Yeah,
Maybe not a huge
yeah,
meal, but like little
like a
snacks.
smoothie.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Um but yeah, so you're get back to the stone wall.
Yeah, I said we
I
kind of
Mhm.
Katamari or Damashi, Katamari Damashi our way through the sewers for a little bit with our pet
Hmm.
pudding, and then probably think, okay, what do we do now?
Well,
uh, I don't. Should one of us stay? I don't know if it sleeps, honestly.
um, I mean, it wouldn't be a good idea to bring it back with us unless we could possibly get somehow transport it to the cellar and have it there because it's damp, dark.
give me another perception or history.
I'll do percept.
I'll do perception.
Or is
I
that
got a
all of us or just
+4.
Char?
All of you.
Could I
Okay.
do history for
Yeah.
19?
Yeah.
14 for me.
Uh,
Perception.
Perception.
Okay.
20 perception, not natural, just a dirty 20.
Okay. So Terry, so you every once in a while they're not like all over the place, but especially with your perception before Lord of Edge, you were able to see like steel like metal ladders going up to the ceiling. You would just assume that maybe that's another access to this sewer system. There's not very many of these, but there are a few that you've passed. Terry, you definitely know that you have entered the sewers before through a hole in the floor um, several times. Um,
It's clean down here. Y'all make this sound like a bad thing.
it's
Yeah.
clean and there's free water.
Think about how much more food Babadook could have had.
Honestly.
Hmm.
So guys definitely can go up into the city that way instead of coming through the
The wrong
outskirts like
way.
you did.
I'm not entirely sure we should bring Babadook back to the city. He seems happy here.
But the issue is what if a stranger comes in? He might kill them. And definitely go after the gelatinous cubes.
He will absolutely go after the gelatinous cube. Perhaps.
Eh, he will fight them for food. I have a feeling that he will fight them for food.
Give me an actual history check, everybody.
History
And
check.
who would like to participate in this event?
Okay.
Actual
5.
history 14.
5.
Oh, 8.
14. Lord of Edge, you've in your conversation with the old lady and in your but mainly with your experience with this creature. Um but she might I didn't say it out loud, but we'll just say the conversation carried on a little bit longer than what actually happened in real time when you guys were asking about this creature. Or perhaps you had read it in the book whenever you had looked this creature up. Either way, you vaguely recall information that this creature is immune
To
to
acid.
slashing damage.
Slash.
And in particular, what happens when it is slashed because it's immune,
Multiply.
it divides, not multiplies. It divides and becomes
Divides.
smaller and actually splits its health as well.
Mm.
So it's one little uh, defense mechanism, survival mechanism that it has.
Okay. If it did get threatened, he'd be able to get away.
There are certain immunities it has in order to ensure its survival. So
Okay.
slashing weapons in particular have no um, uh, damage against this thing.
I could potentially stay here. I don't actually sleep. Um, but I don't think anyone will harm him. I mean, everyone at the Warriors Guild saw us bring him in. I mean, he's
That
fairly
is true.
recognizable. I don't think there's a lot of other black pudding around here.
Like pudding, especially with little wobbly eyes and a jaw.
I mean, nobody would go into the sewers for very good reason, anyways, right? I mean, this is
Yeah.
all
Well,
stuff.
somebody does come in here to make these piles. So
Someone.
it's not like it's probably not you can't imagine somebody come in every day and
Yeah.
this would be their daily job, but it seems like it's not ignored, especially since the Hunter Guild does technically own, I guess, the cubes.
That's
They seem to have taken responsibility for them by
Mm.
introducing them
Mm.
into the city. So
they might be a little upset if our slime is better than their slime, but really, I don't know if we
Mm.
should start some kind of underground slime fighting pit in the sewer by accident. But
Yeah.
although Babadook would definitely win,
Oh
I can
yeah,
tell
Oh
that
for
for
yeah,
sure.
sure.
yeah, yeah. He would,
For
he
sure.
would, he would beat all of them, certainly.
But listen, if it happens, we maybe just get them some Alcahest and call it a day. It's,
A good trade, like, sorry that your slimes have been consumed, but here's more. Here's some
sorry,
alkahest.
sorry that your pet slime got consumed by our pet slime, but on the other hand, you get to live longer now that we killed the Elder Swarm God. So I guess that's nice.
That's a good thing, right?
Well, debatable, but yes, that seems
Mm.
to be our goal.
Do you think maybe we could just take him back to take him back to the inn and feed him like, you know, everything that the customers don't eat?
Garbage disposal?
Yes, like a personal, very threatening garbage disposal.
We could maybe. Um,
And then we could sell the Alcahest. It does sell for a
Um,
decent amount, right?
yeah,
So,
after we kill the elder god, but yes, I could see it.
right. It's like turning scraps into silvers, though. It's
Our glasses would be much cleaner with him around. I feel if we could figure.
the seller might
Yes.
actually get clean.
it would be empty.
It would probably be sparkling clean and have a bluish tinge to it. Thanks to the
Additionally, we
alkahest.
could make sure there's an oil lantern out to help ward him from leaving if you got any ideas.
Yeah, but I think he might be happy if it's damp, dark, and has food.
Sure, we could go find a bigger flask and maybe just go find a bigger flask. I mean,
Or we could, yeah, or have quartz make a like bowl for
sure.
him. I don't know how else she can do that, but
All right, are we taking him out? Or are we leaving him in the sewers?
I think taking him out might be best because we don't want to
I,
fight Gelatinous Coops. Him
yeah,
to
I
fight
don't
them.
think like story wise it makes more sense to leave him, but fun wise, I want to take our pet back with us and see what we're. We have to take this monster around with us now. I don't know what we're gonna do when he gets Clifford size, but
Mm.
We'll just have Clifford adventures.
We'll just have to inflict some slashing damage.
Babadook, the friendly black slime, he grew because of the love and the.
Yeah, and if he grows bigger, maybe he'll grow intelligence.
I hopes.
I would hope so, because that would be nice
We
to
just
just.
cover our wagon in dirt, and then just have them hop on. And
Yeah.
yeah,
Your wagon is currently full of clay pots with alcohol, or yeah, with alcohol.
yeah, we probably should have dropped that off somewhere. But
Well, you had collected 7 jars of this stuff, jugs of this stuff, and you have, like 3 or 4 jugs left over.
okay,
Yeah.
Uh,
Well.
all right. Well, maybe if you don't need to sleep, you go. Lord of Edge could watch the slime to make sure, or pudding to make sure it doesn't get in trouble. Terry and Char could run the pots back, and then we could
yes.
coat the cart with
With like clay or
clay. Oh,
something.
okay. Yeah.
Is that another one of your cousins from the earth?
Um,
No.
Also, when you guys were walking in here, it was getting dark. You guys had traveled part of the day in order to get into town. You've had a short rest. You've had a conversation with a very experienced Drogar. You've had adventures in the sewers. And there's only about 12 hours of light in the daytime. So
Yeah, we should
it is
rest.
probably dark right now.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So maybe I could do my reverie here. Hopefully, I don't think Babadook would. You wouldn't hit me, right, Babadook?
Ooh.
Of course. So yeah, I guess I'll stay here tonight. Char and Terry can go back, and then we can have a better plan tomorrow when like shops are open.
Yeah. And after a rest.
Yeah, and after rest, because he can sit here in the dark and he'll be fine. I mean,
Hmm.
honestly, alone in the dark doesn't sound awful to him. I wouldn't think so.
Yeah, and you've got the sound of moving water. Yeah,
And like.
and the occasional slurping.
Yeah.
And no sunny at all. It
Yeah.
And
just
no sunny.
Oh,
Correct.
we're under the city right now, right? About how long, if I was to peek my head out that ladder, uh, like where would it be located? Like how far away from
So
from
this
the inn?
is more of like in the so give me a survival.
Oh man, a 10.
Um, this is somewhat. It's not too far from the opening, which is kind of out the outskirts. So you think this is more of like would be in the residential kind of area.
Okay.
Um, so it would kind of be back behind the where all that Guild Street is. So it'd be kind of further back, and that's where more of the residential areas are. And there'll be like little shops or something dispersed, little businesses dispersed, but for the most part, it's housing.
Okay. I do have a 7-pound bedroll in my person. I don't know if I really need to return back, right? Like, I don't want Lord of Edge to stay in here by himself. So I'm thinking that maybe Lord of Edge, keeps, um, keeps watch, and then I got the light cantrip, right? So I can cast that, for, well, I guess I can't keep it up forever because I will eventually go to sleep. But I could keep a torch, um, while I'm on my sleeping hours. I'm not quite sure how long a torch lasts, but.
And then you would send Char back, just deposit your
yeah, she could go with.
savings.
Yeah,
We gotta send Quartz back to her. She's gonna be upset with us.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Of
I've
course, don't
got to
understand.
get quartz back.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I mean, it sounds like a good plan. You two stay the night, take watch, and then Char heads back with the wagon.
Yeah, the only reason I want to stay down here is just because I can cast multiple sources of light just to like maybe
I mean, and there
deter Babadook.
are periodically places for torches because the space is used. It's just that none of them have really are lit all the time. But, oh, it's not like eternal light or something.
We
Yeah,
would give Babadook a hot water bottle and a clock, but he would just melt it. So
Yeah. Yeah. Well, sounds like a plan. You guys are going to camp out in the sewers. Char's going to take your alkahest back, and provide a means for you to get Babadook out of the sewers and take Quartz home because it's dark.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, thanks everybody for playing. And those of you who have tuned in to watch our show, thank you so much. We appreciate it. If you did like our content, please go to our Patreon. You can support us there or just view more about us at into the dungeon.com. You can also go to inthedungeon.net. Check out a lot of our other materials. This isn't the only game we've got going on. We've got a new podcast out that's really nice little quips about different aspects of games, role playing games, and information in general. It's called uh, The Tome of Dungeoneering. I'm sorry. uh, Definitely pretty cool. Check it out. And thanks again so much, everybody, for tuning in. We'll see you next time.
Yeah. See
Sorry.
you guys. Oh, you're fine, sis.